What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. I hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. So, I've spoken about this on my live streams in the past. I've talked about it in previous videos, but it's something that's just been on my mind to really discuss. And I've said it before, I will always say it. Black people historically have been tricked into being individualistic. When we have somebody from our community be extremely successful, become wealthy, when one of us gains access to an abundance of resources, we have been tricked by other communities into only looking out for ourselves, right? What are black people told when we get wealthy? When one of us get wealthy, and we try to give back to the hood, we're told you don't owe them nothing. You don't owe them people nothing. You made it. You good. You don't gotta look out for them. They gotta worry about themselves. They gotta figure it out themselves. They gotta find out a plan or figure out a plan just like you did. They got the same 24 hours as you. If you could do it, they could do it too. You don't gotta figure stuff out for them. You don't gotta help them. They gotta come up with their own plan, their own solution. We are told this by white America, by other communities as well. Don't look out for the people from the people, in your hood. We are told, hey, ain't nothing good gonna come from helping the hood out. They just gonna use you up and abuse you, forget about them. And, our entertainers, our wealthy CEOs and our, people who work in corporate America or work in Fortune 500 companies that gain access to wealth, they start repeating this same rhetoric. Oh, man, the hood, when I come around, they gonna take me out of here. Or, they gonna rip my pockets off and they gonna just try to use me up and think I'm just a solution for everything. They not gonna be appreciative of it. They not gonna be grateful of it. So, you know what? Fuck them. I'm washing my hands with the hood. All I gotta do is take care of me and my kids. Man, bro, people will tell black folks this, and you see other communities, they are not individualistic. They will help each other out. I mean, I'm telling y'all, from Jewish communities, to regular white folks, to Asian communities, Hispanic communities, so on and so forth. They will look out for their best friends' kids, their best friends' nieces and nephews. They will look out for their next door neighbors and their children and their grandchildren. They will get them hired in certain places they don't even deserve to be hired in. They don't even have the certain credentials to get into the doors of these certain establishments or in these certain companies. But they will make sure they get in there regardless. They will hire, the dude down the street who they see on a weekly jog they go on their daily jog. They will hire that guy or hire, that man's kids and so on and so forth. And then tell black folks, when we get wealthy, just take care of yourself. Because they want us at the goddamn bottom. Don't you help none of them other Negroes out. And then they try to act like they'll convince other black folks to be individualistic. They'll convince wealthy black people to be individualistic, right? And then use that wealthy black person as the example of, oh, they made it. Why can't y'all make it too? Why can't y'all make it? But when you hear these stories of other wealthy, other wealthy folks, in Jewish communities, so on and so forth, when you hear the stories about, the Rockefellers and all of them and how they looked out for certain communities and all of that, and other wealthy white families and so on and so forth. They looked out for their friends and all of that, and other wealthy Asian folks, they looked out for their people and they put these resources in the communities where they come from, and they opened these establishments for their people and all of that. You find out they did all of that for their people, right? You find out, and then those same individuals were tricking black folks into just, take care of yourself so we can be the one-off. So we can be the one exception. So us black folks, we can be that anomaly, and we can stay anomalies. You see what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. So we can stay, that needle in a haystack. I see it all the time, and black folks get tricked into doing that. I remember, and this is really what hit me, and I talked about this on my live stream. About 2019, around that time, Killer Mike came on the Breakfast Club, and he was speaking about making a public school system better and pouring resources into the public school system, and all of that, right? And Envy was talking about how how effed up the public school system is. And, he was talking so proud about how his kids go to private school and how I don't want them going to the public schools. They don't got shit. Basically, they don't got nothing in the public schools. Public schools ain't got nothing for them. Public schools are terrible, this, that, and the third. And how he was just so proud and sticking his chest out about being able to send his kids to private school. And, Killer Mike was like, wow, that's good that your children are able to go to private school. You can send them to a place with a great curriculum. What happens to those black children who they don't have a father that's a DJ Envy? They don't have a mother that got wealth like DJ Envy. What happens to them, the kids that don't have any other choice but to go to the school in their neighborhood because their mama can't drive, their mama or father can't drive them all the way across town to school every day? They outside of the district where the bus can go and pick them up and take them to that school. What happens to those kids? They just left into that school with no resources, right? And they're left behind because the school has no resources. The curriculum is not that good. They don't have things to improve the school and improve the curriculum, so on and so forth. They don't have the money to pour in certain books and certain all different type of other essentials into the school. Just to hell with them and fuck them. They on their own. They fending for themselves. But since you can take care of your kid, it's all good. No. And when he said that to Envy, I said a light bulb clicked off. Man, that's real. That's real. What happens to black little boys and black little girls who aren't wealthy, who family probably don't even have the wherewithal to send them all the way across town and don't have the means to just do that? You know what I mean? They can't get them way across town to another school. They just get left behind and it's just like, the hell with those kids. No. The schools in our neighborhoods need to be improved. They need to have all the resources necessary. You know what I'm saying? They need to have access to certain resources and certain programs and all of that. So yes, wealth needs to be poured into our own communities. Don't just wipe your hands with them and tell them to kick rocks and, tell them hit the road and all of that shit. So all of us can just be left behind and we can stay at the bottom of the totem pole. That's not how life is supposed to be for black folks. But we get tricked into that. All the time we get tricked into that mentality. White America has tricked us into that mentality for the longest of time, and we have adopted that as a proud staple. That's why I don't like when black folks get to preaching about, I ain't helping them Negroes with shit. They better figure it out on their goddamn self. I figured it out on my own. Figure that shit out. I ain't helping them with nothing. I don't owe y'all nothing. Just take care of me and my kids. Fuck y'all. Yes, your priority is you. Your priority is you and your family for sure. But when you have the means to make a change from where you come from, you got a means to make a change for black folks, black little boys and girls. You do so, because chances are somebody gave your black butt the opportunity to. Somewhere along the way, you were sent to a certain school that was out of the district, you know what I mean? Or a certain individual gave you a leg up. You give a leg up to the black boys and black girls where you come from, because you already know we got it hard as it is. You already know we got to be twice as good to get half of what they got in white America. Y'all know that, So to act like, I don't owe these Negroes nothing. And I hate when dudes say that. Some violence happens in the hood and black folks use that as an excuse not to go back, not to give back to the hood. See, I ain't giving them Negroes nothing. They shooting up each other. And I say, y'all got to stop that bullshit, because violence happens in the white communities. I watch enough goddamn true crime, enough, what's the other one I watch? What's my show? Forensic Files. I watch enough of that to see violence happens in white communities, Asian communities, Hispanic communities, Native American communities, all of the above, right? And they don't stop. That doesn't stop them from giving back to their people. They don't stop them from pouring opportunities in to people they don't even know, all because they look like them. That's why I made the point of, they give jobs to the people, white folks, they go on a daily jog in their community. They find out the dude that they wave to on the way to wherever their destination is, the dude that they wave to or the woman they wave to during their jog, they found out that woman or that man is not employed. They go get them employed. Or they found out that man that they wave to or that woman they wave to, their son doesn't have a job. Or they get them employed. They look out for them. They say, oh, well, he can come work for me. No interview necessary. He can come in under me. He seems like a good guy. Good guy. Scouts honor, he can come work for me. And they get them all in there. I told y'all, man, my mother worked for a law firm at one point, right? And my mother was the accountant. And she saw white folks was getting their family members all in there. They making money they were not really qualified to be making. They didn't even have, some of them didn't even have college degrees, getting paid handsomely to be glorified assistants, handsomely, getting paid nice, great money to be assistants. You feel me? And they didn't give a damn about it. They didn't give a fuck what nobody thought about it either, because black folks get, what are they going to think about you when you didn't work hard to get in this position? What are they going to think about you when you don't have the credentials? And them white folks didn't give a fuck what people thought about their kids or their nieces, their nephews, their their godchildren that worked in the law firm. They didn't give a damn. They kept them gainfully employed. And who cares? They didn't care if my mama saw them salaries or not. Who cares? They getting paid what they getting paid, and it is what it is. Tough titty is how they felt. You see what I'm saying? And we get tricked into, oh, what are people gonna think if I hire my son in the company, and I get my grandson or my niece or my nephew, or I get my sister, I get my brother, I get my godchildren in here. People are gonna think that they didn't work hard enough. They're gonna call them lazy black people, and they don't, man, who cares? You got the opportunity to reach back, help people. Oh, what are they going to think if I hire my neighbor's son? No, man, we got to help each other out, man. We got to help each other out. If you can, help each other out, man. You feel me? That's the way we get ahead as a society, thinking in a community-driven way, not a individualistic way, every man for themselves way. That's how black folks have become left. Well, that's not how we got left behind. Slavery and all of that kept us behind for years, but we're not going to achieve any type of small progress if we all just continue to be individualistic. That's why when people ask me for advice on starting a YouTube channel, I give it to them. I don't try to gatekeep that, because it's enough money out here for all of us to be making. I don't try to tell them what editing software to use. I don't try to conceal the editing software to use. I don't try to not give them any pointers. I've given folks shout outs on this channel, all of that, so for people to subscribe to their channel. I'm not trying to hold nobody back or block nobody blessing, because it's enough money for us all out here to make. I'm not tripping off, oh, what if subscribers go over that? Man, listen, we all can get watch time from people. We all can make our money. We all can gain great revenue. We all can. And I shouldn't be out here trying to gatekeep that and stop other black folks from getting a paper or advancing or making a significant amount of money, especially in these times where inflation is high, stuff is getting higher and higher. I told y'all my rent went up another $250. You feel me? Eggs and groceries are extremely high. The cost of living is just getting higher and higher, and there's not a cost of living raise that is applied to these jobs, right? I told y'all, remember I got laid off at the end of June, and I couldn't even get the companies that I were qualified for wouldn't even want to get. I didn't even get an interview. You know what I'm saying? Companies that I knew I was overqualified for didn't even want to give me an interview. I got a master's degree, I got a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, got all this, you got experience in certain great fields and all of that, and still was struggling to get a job. I'm not in the business, with all this going on, I'm not in the business of gatekeeping things from folks, especially my people. I'm not. And I think that, and I ain't got nothing for real. I ain't got no money for real, but if I gain wealth, an abundance of wealth, I can't not give back to people in my communities in Chicago, and even outside of Chicago, other folks in black communities across America. I cannot neglect them or wipe my hands with them and tell them I figured it out. You figure that shit out on your own. Ha ha ha. I'm at the top, y'all at the bottom. Who cares? And tell them, hey, I don't owe y'all nothing. I don't owe you Negroes nothing. And all preach from that damn soapbox. And that, because to me, that's a whole bunch of bullshit. And that's how black folks get left behind, and other communities smile and praise it when we do stuff like that, because a lot of them be like, oh yeah, keep them Negroes down where they at. Ha 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 ha. You feel me? Because it's a reason why when other people come from other countries, they come over here and they automatically start talking down on black American people. I found that out when I went to grad school, and I had friends who were international students, right? Saudi Arabia, Bangladesh, Thailand, India, China, had friends from all these different places, and they told me their parents told them the worst of the worst about black folks, black American people. So why the fuck is that? You know why. So when we got all of that against us, people that never even set foot in American soil talk about us like we the lowest of the low. No, I'm gonna help my people out. I'm gonna help my folks out. I'm gonna stand in solidarity with them. If I ever get some bread, I'm donating it to my alma mater, Mississippi Valley State University, the university that educates the Mississippi Delta, the academic oasis of the Mississippi Delta, educating black men and black women, you know, and giving them the chance to get that degree that they need to open doors for them in certain industries or certain fields, certain professional fields in America. I'm gonna pour money into that university that educates my black folks that has educated black folks since the year 1950. I'm gonna put money into certain hoods of Chicago, the hoods of Chicago with black folks, like black kids like me. You see what I'm saying? My parents had the wherewithal to send me to a magnet school. It was a Chicago public school. It was a CPS school, but it was a magnet school. I tested into that school because I tested in. My sister automatically came in there with me. And I was in a school learning Russian from kindergarten to third grade, French from fourth to eighth grade, learn how to type without looking down in the third grade, learn how to write in cursive outstandingly in the third grade, learn how to do a full research paper for a science project in the sixth and seventh grade, learn how to write an actual paper in the sixth and seventh grade. You know what I mean? I was in that school, and what happened was I had to go outside of my neighborhood. I had to go outside of my neighborhood because the neighborhood school was not good enough for us. The curriculum was not good. With me knowing that, if I get into some money, I got to pour it back into the communities I come from. So black kids ain't got to commute way across town to school, you know, to go to these schools. Some people don't have the means to get their kids to these schools and the better schools in Chicago. So we got to make the schools in their neighborhoods better. You know what I'm saying? And so I think about these things about black folks as I've gotten older and how we've been tricked. And that's something we got to push back against. I've been rambling for a minute, y'all, but that's my thoughts on that. Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit the like button. Y'all hit the subscribe button as well. Excuse me for stuttering. But yeah, I thank y'all for rocking with me. I'm out, y'all. Peace.